Can a city receive record rainfall during El Nino years? The answer is surprisingly yes. The city of Mumbai has received more rainfall in this entire week than its entire month average, that is July average as such. So, is El Nino losing its grip or influence, or the climate change is rewriting the rules of monsoon or rainfall? In this particular video, we are going to discuss in detail about what is the reason why Mumbai has received recorded rainfall in the year when El Nino is going on, which is associated with lower precipitation and drought-like condition. So, first of all, to give you idea about this particular topic, first of all, if you look at the city of Mumbai, it has received record rainfall between the 1st to 7th July. In the first week itself, the main regions or suburbs of Mumbai such as Colaba, Santa Cruz. So, if you look here, Colaba has received 791 millimeter of rainfall, while the entire month average is 768. So, more than the entire month of June. Santa Cruz similarly has received 879 mm of rainfall, while the average of the entire month is just 919 as such. So, monthly averages is being reached at these places in single week itself. That's why we can say that Mumbai in this year is witnessing exceptional amount of rainfall, or this year is bringing exceptional rainfall event. Now, why it is surprising? It is because the year is of El Nino, and we know that El Nino generally has adverse effect on monsoon. That means those year where you experience El Nino event, monsoon generally is weak. Monsoon winds coming from the Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal remains weaker, and that's why the amount of rainfall that you receive is relatively on the lower side. That's deficit rainfall. Now, the question is, what is El Nino? This we can understand by looking at this particular picture itself. During the El Nino years, what we experience is that this is the part of your eastern Pacific. So, eastern part of the Pacific and the central part of Pacific, they become kind of warmer than average, warmer than normal. This extreme warming of the central and eastern Pacific results in the weakening of the winds, which is referred as easterly winds. Now, this weakening of this easterly wind is a very important event, because it is these easterly winds which then crosses the equator, becomes the southwest monsoon winds which bring rainfall to India. That means if the El Nino event occurs, the warming will cause weakening of easterly winds, and that means the southwest monsoon itself will become weaker as such, and we can expect lower rainfall, and not only lower rainfall but even the delay in the onset of monsoon. We know that officially 1st June is considered as the date of onset of monsoon over India. The Kerala is the state which receives first monsoon rainfall. So, this year also expected, the delay was expected, and that actually has happened. Often the seasonal rainfall is reduced. If you look at the year 2026, late onset was observed. That is, there is no doubt that El Nino played its role here, and the onset was late but active by the end of June as such. So, this is the entire El Nino monsoon. Now, why heavy rainfall during El Nino? This is the biggest question, and the answer can be understood by taking into consideration the effect of global warming. We know that it is a kind of global phenomena due to the rise in the concentration of greenhouse gases, largely as a byproduct of industrial emissions and the vehicular emissions. So, global warming is wreaking havoc all across the world. It is making the weather pattern, weather systems which were earlier predictable in nature go haywire, and that's why the rainfall intensity also seems to have changed a lot. Now, what we are experiencing this year is the number of days on which you receive rainfall is less than the normal, but in those days the amount of rainfall you receive, the downpour you receive is much more higher, much more heavier in nature, and that to some extent can be understood is the reason why the flood risk has significantly risen in the India, especially the urban India, because we face a lot of problems such as infrastructure is not sufficient enough, drainage infrastructure talk about, the rivers that used to carry the excess monsoon water towards sea is being choked by pollution and by encroachment as such. So, the urban flood will become more probable in the near future. Now, if you look at the long-term rainfall trend, so let us compare some of the figures. So, between 1981 to 2000, 2325.8 mm per year, that was the long-term average rainfall. 2325 mm, that will be equal to 232 centimeter per year average annual rainfall. Between 2001 to 2024, this figure has increased, and now you get about 267 centimeter, that is equivalent to 2672.7 millimeter of the rainfall per year. Now, this increase, that is roughly of 35 centimeter, we can say, points to 15% of the net increase. So, climate change is increasing the rainfall. The effect of climate change can be seen in the increase of rainfall. Now the question is that if El Nino causes the deficit rainfall, how global warming is causing in the rise of high rainfall event? So this we can understand by looking at the effect of global warming. We know that due to global warming, the atmospheric temperature rises. That means in the atmosphere you have more warm air. Similarly, the ocean also become warmer. So if you have warm atmosphere and warm ocean, both of them play a catalytic role in increasing the amount of water vapor. For example, if ocean is warmer, evaporation rate will be high, more and more water vapor is being supplied to the air, and air is also warmer. So the warmer air is able to hold more moisture compared to the cold air or compared to the normal temperature air. So we have more amount of water vapor, more moisture. Higher the amount of moisture, more the rate of condensation, and higher the rate of condensation, more event of rainfall in intense short bursts you will experience. So cloud burst like phenomena, right? Heavy rainfall where you have more than 100 centimeter of rainfall, 10 centimeter of rainfall per hour is received. Flash floods, that means within a few minutes to hours the entire area gets flooded by high water, that results in the flash flood, and the urban infrastructure is not sufficient enough, efficient enough to cope up with such heavy rainfall event. Thus we see drainage overload as well. So that's why there is a two phenomena taking place here, El Nino phenomena as well as we have the global warming, and both are wreaking havoc on the monsoon pattern. Now before moving forward to understand it more detail, I want to bring your attention to the fact that Legacy IAS Academy, we are going to soon commence batches. The regular batches, weekday batches are going to commence on 3rd August, 7th September and 3rd of November, while the weekend batches will start on 8th August, 10th October and 12th of December as such. Now if you want to understand the main advantages you will have after joining the batch, so we have comprehensive coverage of GS paper, one-to-one mentorship and doubt solving sessions so that students are able to get their doubts cleared in the institute itself, regular interactions with educators so that they understand that what is the right way to prepare for the examination, what is the right strategy they should adopt from the beginning itself, maximum 40 students per batch, daily mains answer writing practice, so that students are not only preparing for prelims examination, also for the mains examination, test series for prelims and mains, and also 360 current affairs coverage and many more features. Now if you want to know more about the programs, features and all, you can give us a call to the number being displayed here. You can also download our Legacy IAS app. Now coming back to this particular topic, weather system that is responsible for such heavy rainfall days, huge high rainfall days in Mumbai is the moisture contained in the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal. We know that due to high evaporation and high warmer air, more and more moisture is available, and the low pressure system is created. So when the low pressure system is created, the wind rushes to fill this low pressure. As the wind rushes to fill this low pressure, location of Mumbai also plays an important role, because if now take a look at the map of India, this is the southern part of India, and this region is what you have the mountain range referred as Western Ghats. So when the wind comes from the Arabian Sea side, they simply strike the Western Ghat and they rises along the western slope of Western Ghat. As the wind rises, it has large volume of moisture. Suddenly all this moisture condenses and come down on the surface in the form of heavy rainfall. And now you can understand the location of Mumbai plays a crucial role, because Mumbai is located in the coastal areas along the windward slope or the western slope of Western Ghat, where heavy rainfall is recorded by the effect that you would have studied called as orographic effect. The wind is lifted orographically due to the presence of the slope, steep slope of the mountain. So El Nino plus global warming, what we can see is the interaction in their influence, and the rainfall events are becoming more and more erratic, more and more unpredictable in nature. However, the rainfall days are less, but the intensity of the rainfall in those days is much more greater than average. So this is something that is not one-off phenomena. Going forward, as the global warming is something which we cannot we cannot reduce the impact at least in a short period of time. So in future we can also expect more extreme weather events and phenomena as such. Now the current situation and forecast as per IMD is in 24 hours Santa Cruz 94 mm, Colaba 90 mm rainfall, BMC, that is Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, western part has stated 78 mm of rainfall, eastern part 77 mm, and the island regions will receive about 46 mm of rainfall. Now taking into consideration these prediction, IMD has issued an yellow alert for the city of Mumbai. Now IMD issues color coded warning system starting from red, which is red alert, which is the most threatening one, yellow alert, that is the less threatening. Then we have the this orange alert, then we have yellow alert, and then we have the green alert. So basically yellow alert means people have to be aware, they have to keep an eye out for any kind of government directions and any kind of this decision taken by the local authorities to evacuate, or what kind of steps they are expected to take. Light rain is expected in next 5 days as far as the IMD, Indian Meteorological Department's weather forecast is concerned. Now the key takeaways of this entire discussion is that climate change has intensified the extreme weather event, including the rainfall event during monsoon time. Record rainfall is being witnessed despite El Nino. So that's from where UPSC can ask question that in every El Nino years we will always experience very low amount of rainfall or less rainfall. That is not true. Record rainfall is being experienced. Multiple weather systems have amplified the rain, such as the moisture content in the atmosphere, warming sea, and the development of low pressure over the Arabian Sea and Bengal. And at the same time, it is the test of urban resilience of India and the adaptation, how adaptive is our system. So adaptation is very essential, otherwise people of the city will face a lot of difficulties, including this drainage clog, apart from that the stagnation of the water and the infectious diseases that the stagnant water brings, apart from flash flood and all these kind of situations. That's all for this particular video. I hope you understood and got the idea behind the interplay of El Nino and global warming and the record rainfall experienced in the city of Mumbai. Thank you very much.